From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth.
Good Thursday morning. We are continuing to track this Williams mine fire that is burning in southwestern Yakima County. Remember, yesterday containment dropped down to 30%. Now it's back up to 31%. It's still holding pretty steady at 12,600 acres and change, but we do have a red flag warning in place today for the area of the fire, just given that we're going to be hot and dry. So we are expecting more activity to flare up from that fire in particular. And also, we had a little vegetation fire start all over the map. Jill and Jessica are going to tell you more about those. Temperatures this morning in the 50s and 60s, pretty mild out there, but I still think most of us probably need a light jacket. A little bit later today, we're really going to start to feel the effects of this heat wave, which is going to last through Sunday. Also, we're tracking some very small thunderstorm chances into Saturday and Sunday. That is going to up the fire start potential, and thankfully it does look like we'll get a bit of relief from all of this as we head into next week. Is it going to be temporary? Is it going to be permanent? You'll have to stay tuned to find out. But this heat advisory does run until 9 p.m. on Saturday. I'll tell you just how hot we're going to be for today coming up on Good Morning Northwest, which starts right now.
Straight ahead on Good Morning Northwest, a new fire burning in Benton County. We'll tell you how many acres it's burned and where it's located.
But first, an update on the deadly school shooting at a Georgia high school. The sheriff calling it an act of pure evil. We have the tragic details. That's coming up on Good Morning Northwest, which starts right now.
This is Apple Valley News Now. Good Morning Northwest, on your side.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us for Good Morning Northwest. I'm Jessica Jalal.
And I'm Jill Sperling. It is Thursday, September 5th. We want to start right off with the deadly school shooting at a high school in Georgia.
A vigil was held last night for the victims at the shooting or of the shooting at Appalachia High School, about 45 miles east of Atlanta.
Law enforcement confirms 4 people were killed, 2 14-year-old students and 2 teachers. 9 other injured victims were taken to area hospitals. A teenage suspect was arrested and will be charged as an adult.
He was identified as Colt Gray, a 14-year-old student at the school who was armed with an AR-15 style firearm. Authorities say he surrendered when confronted by a school resource officer. The sheriff of Barrow County described the shooting as pure evil.
Hate is not going to prevail in our county, and hate's not going to prevail in our state. And pure evil did what happened today. That's all I can tell you.
All schools in the county school district will be closed the rest of the week. According to the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, the 2 students killed have been identified as Mason Schermerhorn and Christian Angelo.
Both were the same age as the alleged shooter, 14. The 2 teachers who died were 39-year-old Richard Aspinwall and 53-year-old Christina Ermey. We turn now to a new fire burning in Benton County.
This fire is burning along Highway 14 north of the Columbia River. It's now called the Sandpiper Fire. According to fire officials, it's burned about 24 acres so far. No official word yet on a cause, but we'll keep you updated as we learn more.
In more fire news, West Benton Fire Rescue spent yesterday afternoon putting out a vegetation fire on the 400 block of North Missimer Road in Benton County.
Fire crews were able to put the fire out quickly and stop it from spreading. No word yet on the cause of this fire either. A wildfire is also impacting traffic in parts of Kittitas and Chelan counties.
WashDOT says US 97 at Blewett Pass is currently closed due to a brush fire that's growing at the summit. Northbound traffic will be stopped at milepost 149.5 at the junction with SR 970. As for southbound traffic, cars and trucks will be stopped at milepost 177 just south of Valley Highway.
There is currently no estimated time for reopening.
Multiple neighbors in a Kennewick neighborhood say they heard a loud explosion just before 9 yesterday morning.
The Kennewick Fire Department says Pacific Recycling was scrapping metal when they cut into what they thought was a metal container. It turned out to be a pressurized vessel of some sort of compressed gas. When they cut into it, it ruptured the tank.
The tank then went through both sides of one of their buildings and between a couple of homes and across the street into the front door of another home located on 4th Avenue and East 4th Avenue in Kennewick. KFD says one of the things they do with fire prevention is help train businesses in case a situation like this happens.
We make sure that any type of container that has compressed gas in it, they're properly chained up so that they have fall protection so they don't fall. similar thing that could possibly happen is if a pressurized container were to fall and bust off the valve head, then it could have a similar effect as to what we saw today with the tank getting punctured.
Kennewick fire officials say no one was hurt.
Fire crews work hard keeping the community informed and prepared, and Prosser's West Benton Fire and Rescue celebrated its second annual open house yesterday.
The celebration included live demonstrations of putting out a small fire, using a fire hose, and trying on some fire gear, and it was a family-friendly event.
The deputy fire chief says events like these hold a special place in his heart.
Just giving back to the community. I grew up here in Prosser. I was raised here in Prosser, and so just being able to give back to the community I raised, it's a great feeling, and it's what I enjoy the most about this job.
Aside from the open house, the deputy chief says they send out fireworks and wildfire safety information to homes in the community.
Yakima Valley College is partnering with Pacific Northwest University of Health Sciences to provide a direct pipeline for their graduates to continue their education at PNWU.
Students who complete their bachelor's degree at YVC can transfer directly to one of 5 programs at the university. This includes osteopathic medicine, physical therapy, dental medicine, occupational therapy, and Master of Arts in Medical Sciences.
They can continue their journey without having to leave the Valley,
which is very valuable for some of our students because they have familial supports here, financial supports here. And so leaving Yakima sometimes isn't an option, and this provides a pipeline for them to still go into one of those crucial medical programs.
The agreements include guaranteed interviews for students or seats set aside specifically for YVC graduates.
The Toppenish School District is celebrating a new investment in its transportation system, courtesy of $2.4 million in grant money from the EPA.
Apple Valley News Now's Emily Goodell has an inside look at the district's new investment.
Behind me is one of 3 school buses the Toppenish School District has had since last fall, but more will be on their way soon. 6 electric school buses paid for by a $2.4 million grant from the Environmental Protection Agency.
The big difference is they're quiet, they're emission-free, and they have helped districts cut in half many times what the costs are to run a traditional school bus.
A quieter bus means students don't have to shout as loud to be heard, and less noise means fewer distractions for drivers.
Especially for our sort of neurosensitive students, the fact that this bus does not vibrate like a traditional school bus is so quiet. These kids calm down.
They say having no emissions means the buses are better for the environment and students' health.
Particulates that come from traditional diesel-powered school buses have a tremendous impact on youth and vulnerable populations. So being able to swap those out for a zero-emission electric school bus provides immediate health benefits.
The bus is already paid for by the EPA grants. Operation costs cut in half compared to what they would be for a traditional school bus.
You're not buying diesel fuel, which is getting more and more expensive. You're not swapping out all the parts that support a combustible engine.
The bus's generators can also come in handy in an emergency.
For some of our communities out on the Pacific Coast who have power reliability issues around storm and other things, you can plug this bus in and keep your clinic going, keep your school going.
Using the heater during winter does drain the battery faster, but school district officials say one charge is still sufficient for their typical routes. School district officials tell me they're supposed to get the next 3 buses within the next couple of months. Reporting in Toppenish, Emily Goodell, Apple Valley News Now.
In more education-related news, Walla Walla Public Schools recently finished getting the new artificial turf out at the JV Trident Field, with varsities nearing completion.
Student athletes are already practicing on the brand new turf. Superintendent Wade Smith says it's gone through the safety testing and it's even better than grass.
But what's most important is the all-natural organic infill. You know, many of the current turfs, both in the region and across the state, used crushed rubber, ground-up tires. We spent a lot of time with our committee determining and concluding we wanted the safest, natural, recyclable infill, and so we're going with what's called a thermoblend infill. It's a mixture of natural cellulose fibers and, believe it or not, crushed olive pits left over from the olive oil pressing process. And so when you combine those two together, it's an all-natural, all-natural organic infill that's actually 30 degrees cooler than crushed rubber and completely recyclable.
The varsity field is nearing completion as well, and the full story, where we hear from athletes, is coming tonight on Apple Valley News Now, along with information about the next phase in the Trident Field project.
Up next on Good Morning Northwest, the latest batch of COVID shots are now available, but for those who don't have insurance, it could cost you money. We have how much you should expect to pay coming up in your health headlines.
The first, Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth will have your weather forecast. Good Morning Northwest. We'll be right back.
Craving our world-famous hand-rolled crisp burritos with creamy, bacony, chipotle, smoky goodness? Try our new smoky pork crisp burrito for a limited time. When you know what you want, anytime is taco time.
It's time once again for the Walla Walla Valley Quilt Festival. 2 big days, September 13th and 14th at the Walla Walla Fairgrounds. This year's theme is 2 crayons. Quilters choose 2 colors randomly and then add a third to create amazing fabric works of art. Check out hourly demos, shop the vendors, and have a great time. Enjoy both big days for just $8. Meet featured quilter Robin Long of Robin Ruth Design and local featured quilter Julianne Gunningham. Mark your calendar now, September 13th and 14th, the Walla Walla Valley Quilt Festival.
Okay guys, we're all here because US Cellular has an incredible deal. Right now, you can get 4 lines for just $90.
Sorry, just double checking. Is it really that good of a deal?
Yeah, it's a huge deal. You also get 4 free phones of your choice.
4 free phones! Wow, I just triple checked and that's awesome.
So go get that deal. Or at least help me clip. Do you check the expiration dates?
Oh, I can do that.
Great.
Get 4 free phones of your choice with no trade-in needed, plus 4 lines for $90.
Healthy, clear-looking skin is always on trend, but as we age, our texture and tone can change. Meet Curve Appeal's Photo Fabulous, an optimally tailored treatment that addresses the early signs of aging and provides noticeable results for pigmentation, age or sunspots, fine lines, and overall skin appearance. Book a consultation today to get camera ready and save up to $750 with the September special. Visit curveappealtc.com to get started.
The White Card, a powerful resource for former Hanford and DOE employees. If you worked in the area and have come down with cancer, lung disease, Parkinson's, or renal failure, you may be eligible for financial compensation and healthcare services. A simple phone call can get the process started. Atomic Home Health. Don't wait. Call today.
Craving our world-famous hand-rolled crisp burritos with creamy, bacony, chipotle, smoky goodness? Try our new smoky pork crisp burrito for a limited time. When you know what you want, anytime is taco time.
This ship is heaven. We're tending to our passengers' dreams. But make no mistake about it, it's your job to keep everyone alive.
Hello there, watch live with Kelly and Mark.
Weekday mornings at 9 on Apple Valley News Now.
From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. We have just light haze for the moment blanketing the area, but this is gonna change into the next couple days as we have our mid to upper level winds. They're gonna shift out of the south, and that's gonna bring a lot of smoke from some of these Oregon fires into our neck of the woods. We'll show you that with Futurecast. This is by 5 p.m. You can see especially on the periphery of our viewing area in Umatilla, Morrow County, also in Yakima County. That's where we'll see some of the thickest haze, but it becomes even thicker as we head into Friday. So this is 8 o'clock in the morning, stepping through. Now this is 5 p.m. during the evening, and you can see what was originally just on the periphery is now starting to close in on most of our viewing area. So the haze, the bottom line from all that is that the haze will become thicker and more prevalent. Air quality is probably going to become a little bit worse over the next couple days. Okay, on to the heat. That is, I think that's the biggest story here as the heat advisory begins today at 1 p.m. You can see your coat cast for this morning, light jacket stuff, but easily the rest of the day, those wardrobe decisions are going to be pretty easy to come by as we're going to be about 10 to 15 degrees above average for this time of the year. That means we'll be near 100 degrees within the Tri-Cities. I'll tell you how long we're expecting this for, and also I'll show you some relief in the forecast. Yes, you heard that right. That's going to be coming up in a few minutes.
Thank you, Josh. And your health headlines this morning. The latest batch of COVID shots are now available, but be prepared to pay if you don't have health insurance. And that's because the federal program that covered the cost of the vaccines for uninsured and underinsured people ran out of funding. The federal Bridge Access Program was set to end this December, but it expired early because of a move by Congress. They rescinded $6.1 billion in COVID emergency spending as part of a deal to avoid a government shutdown. Congress also blocked a Biden administration proposal that would provide free immunizations. Now, the roughly 25 million Americans who are without health insurance will pay up to $200 for the shots. Private insurers, Medicare, and Medicaid are still required to pay for COVID vaccines. In more health news, heat-related deaths in the nation have been steadily increasing for years. A new study in the medical journal JAMA shows a 117% spike from 1999 to 2023. More than 21,000 people died during that period, with a disproportionate number of deaths recorded in California, Arizona, Nevada, and Texas. Using data from the CDC, researchers found the annual number of deaths varied from year to year before 2016. But since 2016, deaths have increased by nearly 17% each year. And according to the World Meteorological Organization, extreme heat is the #1 weather-related killer in the U.S. Up next on Good Morning Northwest, LL Flooring, which used to be called Lumber Liquidators, is going out of business. We have the details why coming up in your consumer news.
Hey, Tri-Cities! It's Eric the Peanut Guy with your Tri-City Dust Devils. It's the final week of Dust Devils baseball in 2024, so don't miss your chance to catch a game and give me a high five. Friday, September 6th, it's Family Feast Night with $2 hot dogs and more, thanks to Atomic Dermatology. And a Rooster Tails jersey auction, thanks to BNSF Railway. On Saturday, we'll light up the September sky with fireworks, thanks to Cascade Natural Gas. Visit the official ticket site at DustDevilsBaseball.com. Dust Devils Baseball. It will blow you away.
From Apple Valley News Now, this is Apple Valley Eats.
All right, so my job here is the food and beverage executive chef. I've been here 10 years. Started off here as an entry-level cook. I was given the opportunity to step into the executive chef role, which is the position that I'm in. I've been in that position for about 6 years now, almost. What I do here, I handle not so much the day-to-day operations, but everything that goes into the menu planning, the SOPs for all of the cooks, recipes, ensuring all the recipes are all the same, the consistency, the vision of the food and beverage department as far as the aesthetics, what is it going to look like, what does the food preparation look like. We have everything from catering, fast food, employee meals, which is a cafeteria style setting, and then obviously our bread and butter, what we do, a buffet here at Legends. What we like to do here is try to keep our team members happy, try to be versatile with them, try to be flexible, whatever needs that they may have. We try to accommodate. We do have childcare here on property, so if somebody needs to drop their kids off at childcare, that option's always there. You could come into our department with no experience at all, but we're gonna show you how to hold a knife, we're gonna show you how to cut vegetables, we're gonna show you how to cut meat, we're gonna show you how to use all the equipment. Is the comfort of knowing that I'm gonna have my consistent 40 hours a week. And that goes from everywhere from a dishwasher all the way up to my position. It's another benefit of working here at Legends. I like to think of it more as a career rather than a job.
The Labor Day savings have been extended. One more week at Walker's Furniture. Save like never before with discounts on all your favorite brands during the biggest sale of the season. Or enjoy 0% interest for 5 years and pay over time. But hurry, because these limited time offers end soon.
Beautiful new bedroom sets, stylish living rooms, and quality dining sets are all on sale.
Enjoy extended Labor Day style and savings this week at Walker's.
Stacy Lee, Cap KVU First Alert Weather. Watch tonight. From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colberth.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. We do have a red flag warning that's in place. Technically, it's not in place for the Williams mine fire. It's in place for this other little slice of Yakima County to the north of Mount Adams, but just know that these conditions are pretty close to the Williams Mine fire, and so we are expecting some erratic fire behavior possible with that fire in particular for today. All right, other than that, it's going to be a hot one out there. We'll be about 10 to 15 degrees above average, near 100 degrees within the Tri-Cities. Plenty of sunshine, and haze will be increasing throughout the day. And then for tonight, we're going to trend milder. Overnight lows down into the 50s and 60s. The haze will be doing its thing. It's going to be even thicker as we head into tomorrow, and the heat is going to stay prolonged. Unfortunately, this is going to be a prolonged stretch as this heat advisory goes from 1 p.m. this afternoon to 9 p.m. on Saturday. And I have a sneaking suspicion that a lot of those zones are going to get extended into Sunday, as Sunday is going to be just about as hot, still about 10 to 15 degrees above average. But then we start to step things down. We start to trend a little bit cooler. Look at this. By Wednesday, some fall-like weather will finally feel pretty seasonal. Now, it's too early to say if that's going to be a long-term thing or just a temporary thing, but it also looks like shower chances are increasing into Tuesday and Wednesday. So that is certainly some good news. We definitely need the rain. And unfortunately, before all that, we do have these little chances for lightning into Saturday and Sunday. Given the lightning, given the very dry vegetation, the fire start potential will be very real and very concerning for Saturday and Sunday. We'll show you some of the data to back that up coming up a little bit later in the show. Here's a 7-day forecast for the Tri-Cities. Near 100 through Sunday, starting to feel normal again by Tuesday and Wednesday. For Yakima, hot and dry through the weekend, cooler for Tuesday and Wednesday with showers possible on Wednesday. Then for Ellensburg, hot and dry through Sunday, breezes picking up for Sunday. That'll also increase the fire start potential. Then in Hermiston, near 100 for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Finally more seasonal again by Tuesday and Wednesday. And then for Walla Walla, tracking some small shower chances for Sunday. The better chance for lightning is going to be in the blues. And then finally we'll trend cooler overall once we hit next week.
Thank you, Josh. In consumer news, LL Flooring, formerly known as Lumber Liquidators, is going out of business after failing to find a buyer to rescue the 30-year-old retailer. Inventory at its 200 stores will be put on sale starting Friday, that's tomorrow, before the locations close in about 3 months. The shutdown will put about 2,000 workers out of a job. LL Flooring began about 30 years ago as a company that bought and sold excess inventory. The company expanded and currently sells about 500 varieties of hard surface floors. The business does have locations in Kennewick and Yakima. Target is bringing back its popular car seat trade-in program that aims to reduce waste in landfills. Starting September 15th, you can drop off your old car seats at Target stores. In return, you'll get a 20% discount for a new car seat, stroller, or select baby gear. Target will accept and recycle all types of car seats, regardless of their condition, including car seat bases and booster car seats. The program runs through September 28th. Up next on Good Morning Northwest, Dancing with the Stars fans, listen up. We now know the full cast of the 33rd season, and we'll tell you who they are in your entertainment headlines up next.
Is that house-made guac going on a Carl's Jr. burger? Smooth, zesty, charbroiled, beefy, melty pepper jack, cheesy, saucy temptation, crisp bacon too. I give. Give in to the guac bacon burger, only at Carl's Jr. Made burger.
Get burger.
Hi, I'm Stuart Holmes, Elections Director for Washington State. The general election is November 5th. Visit votewa.gov by October 28th to register online or update your registration. After October 28th, register in person at a county elections office or voting center until 8 p.m. on Election Day. Secure your vote, register today.
Sponsored by the Office of the Secretary of State and aired in cooperation with the Washington State Association of Broadcasters and this station.
I'm attorney Jeff Kreutz.
And I'm attorney Megan Changaroya.
For 5 consecutive years, Tamaki Law has been voted Tri-City's best law firm.
Your trust fuels our commitment.
Your support inspires our dedication.
For 30 years, Tamaki Law has been your choice as the law firm that fights for the justice you deserve.
Again, on behalf of Tamaki Law, thank you for your vote of confidence.
We are so grateful to serve our amazing community.
Thank you for making Apple Valley News Now's Good Morning Northwest the most watched local morning news program in our area. What's new, what's now, and what's next, plus first alert weather every 10 minutes. Wake up with Good Morning Northwest from Apple Valley News Now on your side.
Next live, actress Carrie Coon, plus Daniel Day Kim, and Cooking with Taryn Hall and co-author Liz Styling. It's a new season of Live.
Today at 9 on Apple Valley News Now.
Driving safely is all about the little things, like giving folks a break, even at unmarked crosswalks, making plenty of space for people riding, and choosing to wait for the next green light by slowing down and stopping on yellow. Because when you're the biggest and the fastest, you've got to be the safest, too. Together, we get there.
Is that house-made guac going on a Carl's Jr. burger? Smooth, zesty, charbroiled, beefy, melty pepper jack, cheesy, saucy temptation, crisp bacon too. I give. Give in to the guac bacon burger, only at Carl's Jr. Big burger.
Good burger.
Get ready for the Seattle Kraken all season on Apple Valley News Now.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. Well, you might remember last summer the Taylor Swift's Eras Tour made a stop in Seattle, and it made headlines after fans caused the Swiftquake.
So that term was created after intense jumping and singing by fans registered as seismic activity. Now, a local geology professor has measured the activity from another concert that was even more earth-shaking.
She says the Seattle Swiftquake has been dethroned by a surprising artist.
And it was Ed Sheeran, and Ed Sheeran is not somebody with whom I associate like rampant crazy crowd behavior. However, he did bring Macklemore on stage, and so here you have local artist playing Can't Hold Us, which is a very jumpy song and a very high energy song, and the crowd responded appropriately, and it's definitively the strongest shaking we saw the entire time.
Okay, I was confused until she described Macklemore being there. That makes a lot of sense. So the professor at Western Washington University wants to be clear that those concerts did not cause actual earthquakes.
Yeah, she said data can easily be analyzed and pulled from the hundreds of seismometers around the Northwest that measure natural seismic activity.
So Taylor Swift has been dethroned, but I guess she'll just have to shake it off.
It's good. Also, I like to think of a crowd going crazy to like photograph by Ed Sheeran.
I know. Actually, I know the shape of you. Well, in more entertainment news, we now know the full cast of the 33rd season of Dancing with the Stars.
They were announced on Good Morning America yesterday, and we previously told you about Pommel Horse Guy, as we've been calling him, Olympian Steven Nedoroshic, and he was the first contestant announced.
Other contestants include Ilona Maurer, so-called fake heiress, Anna Delvey. I don't know any of these stars. I'm not up to date on culture. And all-star NBA center Dwight Howard. I know him. Also Beverly Hills 90210 alum Tori Spelling and former Bachelorette star Jen Tran.
Yes. Oh, that was comical hearing Josh say those names and not know them. The new dancing season premieres Tuesday, September 17th on ABC and Disney+. And I was surprised to hear that Anna Delvey was a contestant. I saw the whole Netflix series.
I'm not really that surprised, to be honest.
Watch the Netflix series about her. It's really good.
Okay.
Carlton's one of the from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
That's the host.
He's the host?
He's the host.
Oh. I didn't know anything about that segment. I was 0% on that one.
Well, now you do.
Yes.
You'll have to tune in. Up next on Good Morning Northwest at 5:30, the man accused of being responsible in a series of terrifying shootings along I-5 was in court yesterday. And we have the update. Details are just ahead.
Also, more evidence has been found of Russia attempting to influence the U.S. election. We have what the Department of Justice is saying now. That's in the next half hour. But first, here are your Tech Bites.
In today's Tech Bites, Volvo is pumping the brakes on its electric car plans. The car maker announced it has abandoned its target to produce only electric vehicles by the year 2030. Volvo says it now plans to produce 90% electric vehicles by that time. The company blames changing market conditions for its decision. Next, YouTube is rolling out a new supervision feature for parents. The tool lets parents link accounts with their teens to monitor video uploads and live streams. Parents will receive alerts about their teen's activity to help encourage safer content creation. And finally, Beats is officially teasing the Power Beats Pro 2, set to launch sometime next year. The original model, released in 2019, hasn't seen any major updates. The new version will keep the popular ear hooks with expected upgrades in sound quality and charging. Now, if these weren't wireless, would they get tangled? No, they would not. Those are your Tech Bites. Have a great day.
When your dog hears the call of the wild, make sure they have the right fuel to answer. Blue Wilderness Chicken, with 30% more protein than Purina Pro Plan chicken, is formulated to give your dog the energy they need to explore, to discover, and to take on the wild with you. Blue Wilderness, stay wild.
Sometimes Jonah wrestles with falling asleep, so he takes ZzzQuil, the world's #1 sleep aid brand, and wakes up feeling like himself. Get the rest to be your best with non-habit-forming ZzzQuil. Better days start with ZzzQuil nights.
It's Macy's Labor Day sale with our lowest prices of the season, like the Radley sectional $24.78 and the Hedworth Queen Bed $6.74. Plus, don't miss great financing today at Macy's.
This is Apple Valley News Now. Good morning, Northwest, on your side.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us for Good Morning Northwest. I'm Jessica Jalal.
I'm Jill Sperling.
And I'm Josh Colbert.
Well, it's still really hot.
Yes.
I don't really have to deal with the heat too much because I'm pretty much asleep by that time, but
Yeah.
It's been really hot in the afternoons. Have you been kind of going outside
It's
the
been warm
time?
in our house. Like we still have the AC turned on,
Yeah.
but it just feels like it won't cool off.
I know. Any relief soon?
Yes, we do have relief into next week, but yeah, I have the AC running the whole time.
Lasting, yeah.
I think my ventilation is a little bit better because it gets pretty cold in my apartment, but right now you're taking a live look at Yakima. This view coming courtesy of Bi-Mart. This view atop the Atanum Ridge. You see all the city lights this morning, but that's about all you can see out there. Temperatures are in the 50s and 60s, 57 for Tri-Cities, 63 for the Hanford site, 62 for Pendleton. So it's a light jacket stuff out there. A little bit later today, we're going to be up around 100 in the Tri-Cities. So we'll be about 10 to 15 degrees above average for this time of the year. Very hot stuff. And so we just wanted to touch on some heat safety again. It's been a while since we've shown this graphic, but if you're going to take the pets on a walk, the earlier the better. If the kids are going to be outside playing, of course, keep them hydrated. If you're going to be outside yourself, if you're going to be working, try to take breaks in the shades and stay hydrated yourself. And of course, try to check on all those vulnerable populations, specifically the elderly. That is one facet to this heat wave. The other facet is just how dry our vegetation is going to be, how the fire start potential is going to go way up. And so I'll show you some of the metrics to back all that up coming up in a few minutes.
Thank you, Josh. Starting off in statewide news, bail is set at $1 million for the man accused in a series of shootings along I-5.
Now more victims are coming forward. Investigators are aware of 8 separate shootings along I-5 in King and Pierce counties believed to be linked to the same suspect. Linan Nguyen reports.
The suspected shooter waiving his right to appear in court after 6 people were injured in now 8 separate shootings along I-5. Washington State Patrol responded to 3 shootings on northbound I-5 in King County within 20 minutes of each other. Then a couple hours later, another series of shootings on southbound I-5 in King and Pierce counties. We spoke with one victim who was driving with his wife and young children who wanted to remain anonymous.
I think we're more concerned because it was so close. It was so close. I mean, this and this. I mean, it doesn't get, thank God nothing happened to us, but yeah, it could have been different.
Investigators say 2 more victims have since come forward, and they were able to recover bullet fragments from one victim's vehicle. A motorcyclist in Bothell also reported being shot at. Investigators say the motorcycle was hit twice, but the rider, thankfully, was not injured. Another victim told us he drove to the nearest fire station in Federal Way after being shot. Concerned the 23-year-old woman in his car who'd been hit wouldn't make it much further because of how badly she was injured. Multiple victims described the suspect as wearing a ski mask, driving a white Volvo, and one person was able to provide a license plate. Within hours, authorities tracked the suspect down, finding a gun, a magazine, and loose ammo inside his car. Court documents say the suspect told investigators he believed he was being followed while driving, and people in cars were trying to run him off the road. He also stated he was shooting to get the people who were following him to back off.
The suspect's defense attorney told the court he has concerns about his client's mental capacity to stand trial.
The suspect is expected to be formally charged later this week.
Turning to political news now, the Biden administration says Russia has been spending millions of dollars in attempts to influence the U.S. election as well as other issues through social media.
The Justice Department says it's indicted 2 employees of the Kremlin media arm, RT. It alleges they were part of an almost $10 million scheme to set up and direct a Tennessee-based front company.
A U.S. official identifies it as Tenet Media, which lists Benny Johnson and Tim Pool on its website. Both say they were victims of RT's efforts and have maintained editorial control of their content.
The Justice Department says it's also cracking down on Russia's use of fake profiles and faux news websites.
Vice President Kamala Harris's campaign team has agreed to the terms of next week's presidential debate on ABC with former President Donald Trump. According to a source familiar with debate negotiations, the Harris campaign also agreed to muted mics when it's not their turn to speak.
In a letter to the network yesterday, the Harris campaign said it accepted the terms to avoid Trump pulling out of the debate. Harris' team also said in the letter muting the mics would put her at a disadvantage.
The 2 presidential nominees will face off Tuesday in Philadelphia.
The Office of the Secretary of State certified results of the mandatory statewide manual recount yesterday for the race for Commissioner of Public Lands.
It confirmed Republican Jamie Herrera Butler and Democrat Dave Upthegrove will advance to the November general election. The recount indicated a 49-vote margin separating second-place finisher Upthegrove from Republican Sue Peterson, who finished 3rd in the contest.
The margin originally stood at 51 votes. After consolidating the amended results certified by each county canvassing board, Upthegrove gained 4 votes and Peterson gained 6 votes. Well, if you love live music, you'll love our next story. We'll have details on where you can catch some live music in our area.
But first, Josh will have what you can expect weather-wise today, maybe some relief from that heat. He'll let you know. We'll check in with him in just a few minutes.
Good Morning Northwest streams all day at AppleValleyNewsNow.com and our mobile apps.
Say less, get more. Buy one, get one for $1. Choose from Bacon McDouble, McChicken, McDouble, or Hot and Spicy McChicken. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Hey, Tri-Cities! It's Eric the Peanut Guy with your Tri-City Dust Devils. It's the final week of Dust Devils baseball in 2024, so don't miss your chance to catch a game and give me a high five. Friday, September 6th, it's Family Feast Night with $2 hot dogs and more, thanks to Atomic Dermatology. And a Rooster Tails jersey auction, thanks to BNSF Railway. On Saturday, we'll light up the September sky with fireworks, thanks to Cascade Natural Gas. Visit the official ticket site at DustDevilsBaseball.com. Dust Devils Baseball. It will blow you away.
Taking the time to savor Thomas's crunchy yet soft bagels.
Thanks, Tom.
It's Tom, actually.
Right, Tom.
Tom. You doing that on purpose?
Tam.
Tam.
How have we got to Tam?
Huzzah! A toast to breakfast.
The Labor Day savings have been extended. One more week at Walker's Furniture. Save like never before with discounts on all your favorite brands during the biggest sale of the season. Or enjoy 0% interest for 5 years and pay over time. But hurry, because these limited time offers end soon.
Beautiful new bedroom sets, stylish living rooms, and quality dining sets are all on sale.
Enjoy extended Labor Day style and savings this week at Walker's.
Sometimes life is a funny way of turning sideways, like when your kid decides they're a professional stylist the morning of picture day, or when your to-do list isn't quite done.
You went to Rite Aid, right?
Or when you're sure you packed everything you need, but you actually need one more thing.
We forgot our prescriptions.
We got you. Are we happy? We are happy. Find everything you need?
Yep. Yeah, life never really goes the way you plan, but that's why we're here. It means
more at Rite Aid.
STCU and Apple Valley News Now honor local volunteers by sharing their stories and donating $1,000 to their favorite charities. To nominate someone who's making a difference in Benton and Franklin counties, just click on Volunteers Count at applevalleynewsnow.com.
Hash browns are the French fries of breakfast.
Who says it's not French fries that are the hash browns of lunch and dinner?
That's also true.
BOGO for $1. Choose from a sausage McMuffin, burrito, McGriddles, biscuit, or hash browns. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
This morning, things are heating up live on Good Morning America. Robin's in the hot seat with Sean Evans live. Can Robin handle the heat in the Hot Ones Challenge? This morning on Good Morning America.
AI can feel exhilarating and overwhelming. I've gathered top experts in the field like Bill Gates, Sam Altman, and more to help us find out what it is. Join me for AI and the Future of Us at Oprah Winfrey Special, Thursday, September 12th on ABC.
From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. And with so much hot and dry weather in our forecast, specifically over the next 4 days, I wanted to show you what our vegetation dryness is looking like. Now, first I'm going to show you what it looks like for today. Then I'm going to show you what it looks like for the Sunday to Monday time frame. So, okay, first for today. Remember, the 100th percentile would be the driest vegetation on record. We're going to be up into the 81st percentile for Kittitas and Yakima counties, up into the 75th percentile for the lower Columbia Basin, and into the 80th percentile for the Blue Mountains. So definitely pretty dry stuff out there. We want everyone to be on their P's and Q's when it comes to fire safety. But here's where it gets a little bit more dicey in that by the time we get to Sunday, which is going to be really the end of this heat wave, we get a little bit cooler by Monday. Look at some of these values up into the 93rd percentile for Kittitas and Yakima counties, up into the 86th percentile for the lower Columbia Basin, and up into the 97th percentile for the Blue Mountains. The 97th percentile, that's some of the driest stuff we've seen since I'd say early July, and there is a little risk of a thunderstorm in the Blue Mountains for Sunday. So that fire start potential is certainly very real. It's something we're going to be tracking very closely as we head into the weekend. However, I do think we get a big time reprieve from all this into next week with some cooler weather. I'll tell you just how cool. Also, I'll show you some rain chances in the forecast. That's going to be coming up in a few minutes.
Thank you, Josh. The community concerts of the Tri-Cities are celebrating its 80th season. In that time, with 4 or 5 concerts produced each season, there have been more than 350 shows since 1944.
Mary Hartman, the secretary and marketing chair for the community concerts, says she knows a lot of people who end up loving concerts that they didn't think they would. Why? Because of the variety.
Maybe the most varied, eclectic mix of anything this year, because we've got Mexicano music at the beginning, we've got classical guitar at the end, we've got a circus in the middle, we've got silent films, and Simon and Garfunkel tribute band. So it's you know, if you don't like one, you're going to like some of the others because it's so varied.
The season pass for the community concerts of the Tri-Cities are $70 for adults and $35 for youth. Individual tickets at the door are $30 for adults and $15 for youth. Family membership deals are also available.
In 1944, I think it cost $6.25 for a season ticket. But if you adjust that for inflation, it's actually it's more like $100 now. And our season tickets this year are $70 for 5 shows, so only $14 per show. So it's still a really great deal, and I think people maybe don't realize what a great deal it is.
Each concert is at 7:30 p.m. at the Richland High School Auditorium. The first concert kicks off in just a few weeks on September 21st, with the first being a 5-piece band playing Mexican folk music, also Latin rock, Tex-Mex, and much more. Coming up next on Good Morning Northwest, a new survey reveals the top places for retirees to live. We take a look at what made the top 5 and where Washington and Oregon cities ranked. That's coming up in your morning sprint.
But first, Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth will have your full weather forecast. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Craving our world-famous hand-rolled crisp burritos with creamy, bacony, chipotle, smoky goodness? Try our new Smoky Pork Crisp Burrito for a limited time. When you know what you want, anytime is taco time.
Life can be hard.
With Culligan, your water doesn't have to be.
The Labor Day savings have been extended. One more week at Walker's Furniture. Save like never before with discounts on all your favorite brands during the biggest sale of the season. Or enjoy 0% interest for 5 years and pay over time. But hurry, because these limited time offers end soon.
Beautiful new bedroom sets, stylish living rooms, and quality dining sets are all on sale.
Enjoy extended Labor Day style and savings this week at Walker's.
The savings continue with Cascade Farm and Outdoors' latest mailer. It's the perfect time to get the perfect pair of jeans. Save now on women's premium jeans. Stock up on Golden Fire or Lignetics 40-pound stove fuel pellets. Plus, compare and save on Nutrina NatureWise 40-pound layer feed crumbles or pellets on sale now. Reap big savings with our latest mailer, online or in store at Cascade Farm and Outdoor. Northwest, homegrown, honest values.
An accident can shatter your life. The award-winning team at Tamaki Law can put your life back together.
I'm attorney Brian Smith.
And I'm attorney Megan Hale. Thank you for voting us Yakima's first choice for personal injury, civil law, and best overall law firm.
We are honored and grateful to be part of this amazing community.
If you've been seriously injured, call Tamaki Law and get your life back.
They both want to be your next president. Now Kamala Harris, Donald Trump, face to face. The ABC News presidential debate, moderated by David Muir and Lindsay Davis. Tuesday live on ABC and streaming on Hulu and Disney+.
Craving our world-famous hand-rolled crisp burritos with creamy, bacony, chipotle, smoky goodness? Try our new smoky pork crisp burrito for a limited time. When you know what you want, anytime is taco time.
It's the premiere of Judy Justice, Monday afternoon at 3.
From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. We have this red flag warning that's in place for southwestern Yakima County. On the other side of Mount Adams, the Williams mine fire is burning to the south side of Mount Adams. This is technically for the northern chunk of the mountain and for that little slice of the rest of Yakima County. So we'll track the behavior of the Williams mine fire very closely for today, and for good reason, because it's going to be hot and it is going to be dry. We'll be about 10 to 15 degrees above average for this time of the year, near 100 in the Tri-Cities, and in the sunshine it could feel even hotter than that. Also, it's going to be some hazy sunshine. We'll have haze increasing throughout the day. And then for tonight, overnight lows trending a bit milder. We'll be into the 50s and 60s. The haze is going to keep doing its thing. Winds will continue to be pretty light. And then into tomorrow, we're going to be just about as hot, if not a smidge hotter. And we have this heat advisory that runs from 1 p.m. this afternoon to 9 p.m. on Saturday. But I have a sneaking suspicion that some of these locations, if not all, are going to get extended into Sunday as well. Because as you can see, Sunday is essentially going to be just as hot as today and just about as hot as Friday and Saturday. So this is going to be a 4-day ordeal, but thankfully we'll start to trend cooler and much more seasonal into the early to middle portions of next week. Also, we'll start to see some rainfall returning to the forecast into the Tuesday to Wednesday time frame. That is very encouraging. We need the rain real bad. And to kind of underscore that, everything is going to be so dry in the run up to that. And we do have these little lightning chances for Saturday and Sunday. And that is really going to amp up the fire start concern. I talked about that a couple minutes back. We'll talk about it again in the 6 o'clock hour. Here's a 7-day forecast for the Tri-Cities, near 100 through Sunday, starting to feel normal again by Tuesday and Wednesday. For Yakima, hot and dry through the weekend, cooler for Tuesday and Wednesday with showers possible on Wednesday. And then for Ellensburg, hot and dry through Sunday, breezes picking up for Sunday, and that'll also increase the fire start potential as things are going to be very dry in the Kittitas Valley. And then for Hermiston, near 100 for Thursday through Sunday, finally more seasonal again by the Tuesday to Wednesday time frame. And then for Walla Walla, tracking a small shower chance for Sunday. The much better chance for lightning is going to be up in the Blue Mountains, and will finally trend cooler overall once we hit next week.
Now, the morning sprint.
Time is now 5:49. It's time for your morning sprint in our 5 o'clock hour.
We're going to take you right to your 6 o'clock hour, but first up, here are the top 5 local things you need to know this morning. If you heard a loud explosion in Kennewick yesterday morning, well, you're not alone. The Kennewick Fire Department says Pacific Recycling cut into what they thought was a metal container, but was actually a container of compressed gas. The tank ruptured, causing the sound heard throughout the community. And while the tank went flying into a neighborhood, no one was injured.
A fire burning in Benton County sparked up along Highway 14 north of the Columbia River. It's being called the Sandpiper Fire. According to fire officials, the fire has burned about 24 acres so far. No official word yet on a cause, but we'll keep you updated as we learn more.
Yakima Valley College is partnering with Pacific Northwest University of Health Sciences to provide a direct pipeline for their graduates to continue their education at PNWU. Students who complete their bachelor's degree at YVC can transfer directly to one of 5 programs at the university. This includes osteopathic medicine, physical therapy, dental medicine, occupational therapy, and Masters of Arts in Medical Sciences.
The Toppenish School District is celebrating a new investment in its transportation system, courtesy of $2.4 million in grant money from the EPA. The district's been using 3 of 6 electric school buses paid for by the grant for almost a year. They say the new buses are quieter, reducing distractions for drivers, and they have no emissions. They also cost less than half of what it takes to run a traditional school bus. District officials say they should be receiving the remaining 3 buses within the next few months.
In more education news, Walla Walla Public Schools recently finished getting the new artificial turf out at the JV Trident Field. Student athletes are already practicing on the brand new turf. The varsity field is nearing completion as well. The full story, where we hear from athletes, is coming up tonight on Apple Valley News Now, along with information about the next phase in the Trident Field project.
In national news, Vice President Kamala Harris has agreed to the terms of next week's presidential debate on ABC with former President Donald Trump.
A debate official says the Harris campaign has also agreed to muted mics when it's not their turn to speak, also saying Harris accepted the terms to avoid Trump pulling out of the debate. The 2 presidential nominees will face off next Tuesday in Philadelphia.
The Department of Justice says Russia has been spending millions of dollars in attempts to influence the U.S. election as well as other issues through social media. The DOJ says it's indicted 2 employees of the Kremlin media arm, RT, alleging they were part of a scheme to set up and direct a Tennessee-based front company.
A U.S. official identifies it as Tenet Media, which lists Benny Johnson and Tim Pool on its website. Both say they were victims of RT's efforts and have maintained editorial control of their content. The DOJ says it's also cracking down on Russia's use of fake profiles and faux news websites.
In your business headlines, LL Flooring, formerly known as Lumber Liquidators, is going out of business after failing to find a buyer. An inventory at its 200 stores will be put on sale starting tomorrow before the locations close in about 3 months.
The business has locations in Kennewick and Yakima. The shutdown will put about 2,000 workers out of a job. The company expanded and currently sells about 500 varieties of hard surface floors.
Target is bringing back its popular car seat trade-in program that aims to reduce waste in landfills. Starting September 15th, you can drop off your old car seats at Target stores.
In return, you'll get a 20% discount for a new car seat, stroller, or select baby gear. Target will accept and recycle all types of car seats regardless of their condition, including car seat bases and booster car seats. The program runs through September 28th. In your health headlines, the latest batch of COVID shots are now available. However, if you don't have health insurance, it could cost you about $200. The federal program that covered the cost of the vaccines for uninsured and underinsured people was set to end this December, but expired early because of a move by Congress.
They rescinded $6.1 billion in COVID emergency spending as part of a deal to avoid a government shutdown. Congress also blocked a Biden administration proposal that would provide free immunizations. Private insurers, Medicare and Medicaid are still required to pay for COVID vaccines.
In your sports news, the start of the NFL's regular season gets underway tonight with the Kansas City Chiefs taking on the Baltimore Ravens. And betting on sports is now live and legal in 38 states and Washington, D.C.
The American Gaming Association announced its first ever legal wagering estimate for the NFL season. It predicts Americans will bet a record $35 billion on legal sports books this season. That would be a 30% increase from the previous season's estimate of nearly $27 billion.
In baseball news, after a couple of rough games for the Seattle Mariners, the Bats truly came alive last night.
Seattle defeating the Oakland Athletics 16-3 with 7 of those runs coming in the 7th inning. The series finale is just after 12:30 today. All right, check this out. The Paris mayor is planning on keeping Olympic rings on the Eiffel Tower, but not everybody is happy.
The mayor says he wants the spirit of the celebration to remain and that, quote, as mayor of Paris, the decision is mine. Now, the descendants of the engineer who the designer of the Eiffel Tower, they don't want the rings to stay, saying the Eiffel Tower is not an advertising platform.
The 5 rings were installed on the tower before the Olympics open in July and were expected to be taken down after the Paralympics closing ceremony in September. Furthermore, because the rings, which weigh 30 tons, are too heavy to remain on the tower permanently, the mayor says that they will be replaced with lighter versions.
Residents of the city set up a petition demanding that the rings be removed from the tower after the games, and more than 36,000 people had signed it by yesterday afternoon.
Wow.
I don't think, they should keep those on.
It's such an iconic landmark.
Yeah,
I feel like you want to see it as it was.
Yeah.
You know, the people in Paris didn't even want the Eiffel Tower when it was first built.
Oh, so you're saying
the 1850s or early 1900s.
So take what you get, right?
Yes.
In the words of Kim Kardashian, I'm sorry if no one likes her, but she says, why put a bumper sticker on a Bentley?
There you go.
So, you don't need the rings on the already great Eiffel Tower.
All right, well, check this out. About 68% of workers are somewhat confident that they'll have enough money to retire comfortably, but only 21% are very confident.
So more than half expect to retire at age 65, with around 3/4 expecting to work some more after. Wallet Hub decided to compare the retiree friendliness of more than 180 U.S. cities across 45 key metrics to see which places were most affordable to retire in while also maintaining the best quality of life.
Some metrics looked at included the cost of living, tax laws to the availability of activities, and also the quality of healthcare. And I'm sure pickleball courts were part of it.
I'm sure, yeah. Well, number 1 is Orlando, Florida. Second is Miami, Florida, another Florida one. And third place is Minneapolis, Minnesota.
So Spokane was low on the list at number 167 and Seattle at 144.
Portland clocked in at number 73.
So are you guys surprised? Does that kind of sound
right to you? There's a lot of Florida in there.
It has to do with the warmth, I'm sure.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I mean, it is beautiful there.
It is beautiful.
There's just a lot of crazy stories that come out of there, you know?
Yeah, there's the odd one.
Florida man does this, Florida man does that.
You go down to the villages and you'll look at the age demographic there. I think you'll understand.
Yeah, definitely. Up next on Good Morning Northwest at 6. The man accused in a series of shootings along I-5 was in court yesterday. The update and everything we know so far is coming up.
And we now know the full cast of the 33rd season of Dancing with the Stars. We take a look at who made the list.
And today is the first day of the heat wave. I'll tell you just how hot it's going to be for today. Also, I'll have an update on the Williams mine fire. All that's going to be coming up at 6.